Hi, it's Prunella Harris, licensed clinical social worker with Restorative Family Services. And for those of you who are new, thank you so much for following my page. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for your support. I like to post content that I think will demystify mental health. So today, I want to talk about mental health benefits. Do you feel like you have a good understanding about your mental health coverage, what's covered, what's not? If you've answered no, great, this video is for you because this video is going to save you lots of time, lots of money, headaches, you name it. So pull up a chair, let's get into it. There are different types of health insurance. So there's private health insurance, that's number one. And that is the health insurance that you get from your employer or that you pay a premium every month to maintain. It's kind of like car insurance. So, you have to pay your car insurance. Private health insurance is similar. You also have employer assistance program, which your employer will pay prior to you using your insurance. So that's private insurance. Second type of insurance is CHIP, and that stands for Children Health Insurance Program. And it's called something different in whatever state you're in, but it is a state and federal program combined for children who don't make enough to qualify for Medicaid, but make too little also to pay out of pocket or for a private insurance plan. So there's state programs to help families there. Then there is Medicaid. Number three is Medicaid, and that is a public state and federal combined health insurance plan for individuals who meet the income requirements. So you have to qualify for low income. There are metrics that you would need to meet for that. And then there is Medicare, which is a federal health insurance program, and their coverage is similar to private health insurance. There are some limitations as to what's covered under Medicare. And then there is TRICARE and VA benefits. So those are benefits for veterans or individuals in the military. So those are the different types of insurance. Now for this video, I'm just going to focus on the commercial or private pay because that's what my practice goes. We're self-pay and commercial at this point. So there are different benefit levels. The different benefit levels relate to the level of care. And so when you think of the level of care, you go from least restrictive, meaning there are no locked doors or anything like that, to the very highest or most restrictive. And so outpatient level of care, when you kind of go in for your weekly session with your therapist, that is considered the lowest level of care. So that's least restrictive. But for this video, we're going to just be focusing on outpatient level of care because it's the one I think has the biggest net. Times when I interface with an insurance plan, they use a lot of insurance jargon, which to the layperson makes no sense, but that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to educate you so that you can have these conversations and you can understand what your benefits are and what they're saying. When you are looking at your insurance plan, you usually get an insurance card. It has a name of the insurance. Some people get an insurance card with Geisinger. Some people get an insurance card with Blue Cross Blue Shield or Highmark or whatever the name is. What many physical health plans, the name on the front of the card would be your physical health plan. But when you turn the card on the back, it will delineate what coverage you have for mental health. And sometimes those physical plans will carve it out or farm it out to another company. So it's important to know where your mental health benefits are coming from because it's probably sometimes different from the name of the insurance on the card. So when you're calling as a member, basically you're calling because you want to understand what your member liability is, meaning what your contribution is. What do you have to pay out of pocket when you go to the provider's office, and then what the insurance plan will cover. And so let's talk about member liability. There are a couple different terms that relate to that. So I'm looking at my notes. There is coinsurance and copayment. The difference between coinsurance and copayment is one is a flat fee and one is a percentage. So a coinsurance is a percentage. Some insurance plans will say you're responsible for 25% of whatever the billable cost is or whatever the allowed amount. So the insurance will come up with a rate that the provider agrees with, and then they will determine that that's the rate. Let's say that rate is $100, and they determine that they're going to pay 75%. So your member liability will be 25%. So you will be, they will calculate that, and you will be charged $25 for that service. That number can go up depending on the cost of service because it is a percentage. It is not a flat rate. Other insurances decide that, hey, it's better for us to just charge a flat rate rather than dealing with the percentages. We just, your copayment is going to be $10 every time you visit or $25 every time you visit. Doesn't matter what service you're going for. This is your member liability. So understanding that when you have a copayment, you won't also have a coinsurance. You won't have both of them. It's either one or the other. And that is liability. The other term to know is deductible. So the deductible is the amount that you're responsible for before your insurance will pay anything. So let's say you have a $500 deductible. You're going to be responsible for paying out of pocket whatever the provider would have charged the insurance because you're using your insurance plan. Sometimes this gets a little confusing because sometimes individuals will be charged a wrong amount, maybe the out-of-pocket cost for the practice as if you didn't have insurance. But because you have the insurance, your insurance company has already negotiated a rate. So you want to pay that rate. That's usually less than their out-of-pocket rate because the provider is actually saying to these big insurance companies, I will take a discount. I will allow you a discounted rate because you have more individuals in your network and I will benefit from having a contract with you. So it's important that you understand that and that you know what that agreed upon rate is. And you can ask the customer service rep on the line when you talk to them. The next term that I want to talk about is in-network versus out-of-network. So when you use your insurance, you want to use providers that are in-network because those providers are going to offer you a better rate. So they have already negotiated a contract with your insurance plan and they have a discounted rate. So you're not going to be charged as much. But if you go out of network, the insurance charges you a higher rate because they do not have those contracts in place with those providers. So be sure to understand whether the provider is in network or out of network. And that's a question that you want to get confirmation from the customer service rep as you're talking to them. The other term that I think might be helpful is called a claim. So what is a claim? Well, the claim is usually handled by the provider that you're seeing. That's usually done behind the scenes. You probably don't see any of that. You probably will only get notified if a claim is denied. But a claim is the invoice that the provider sends to the insurance company to say this individual came for this service and this is how much we're charging for this service. And that's how providers get paid. So I hope that was helpful. Send me any questions you might have. Comment below if you found it helpful. If so, please like, share, and try to get this information out to as many people as possible. Thanks for watching.